Good Friday afternoon, evening, wherever you might be. How are you
Hey,
doing? Hey, you're there. Oh,
I'm
you s-
there.
you
Shouldn't I
sound
be?
like nasty.
Nasty, like
I think,
echoey.
yeah. Do you
Yeah,
have your
that
little mic?
I have my little mic.
That's
Yes.
not the one that's going in. It's your headphones that are going through.
Okay.
Switch it. That's fine. See, this is what professionals do. We ship, but we always don't ship the right thing. Now it
There we
is because
go.
I can hear
How
I can
about
hear it
now?
now. Much better.
Yeah.
It's Friday, isn't it? See, we're
Yeah.
doing adjusting cameras, doing everything. It's almost like you've never done this before.
Yeah. Actually, I hate doing this anywhere but in my office because then it's always those things. Because in my office, I have everything set up. I don't do anything. I don't move a finger.
You have a button, right?
No, not even a button. It just kind
Oh.
of, there is only one combination that works. And that's the combination that is used.
But the upside is in your disclosed location, you have other
Yes,
options
I
of
am.
things to do besides.
Yes, I am.
So that's that. By the way, if you don't know who we are, my name is Darren Pope. This over here is Victor Farsek. And we're the host of a podcast called DevOps Paradox. And on Fridays, we do this live show to talk about the things of the week. Interesting about the things of the week this week. There was nothing this
It's
week.
summer, man. People are at
Golly.
the pool, on the beach. People who hate sea are hiking. They're doing something.
Guess what I did this week?
Looking for news.
Well, besides that, I actually left my house and I went to a
Oh.
different city.
Oh,
I drove.
Rally.
I drove for
Yeah.
3 hours. I went up to the day job office up in Raleigh for a couple of days and worked and saw some people. Did you know there are other people that exist on this planet besides you and me?
That's. Do you have any physical proof of that?
No. Well, actually, we know Ingen exists unless he's a bot. And we know Jivaden
I saw
exists
Ingen.
unless
I
he's
saw
also
them
a
in
bot.
person, so yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll assume there are humans there too. You know, driving for 3 hours was not a big deal. In fact, I was telling somebody in the office, it's like I've been driving the route that I drove yesterday or whatever it was this week for 40 years. So that'll tell you because I've been driving it since I was 16. So I'm 56. Ah, crud. Guess what? All right. Here's the other thing. Did you just hear that?
Yes, I heard something.
So here's what happened about 10 minutes ago. I went down to get my soda. After I start the countdown, I usually go get my soda. Well, I open up the door, and the fridge is out in the garage. Every once in a while, that fridge gets a little overworked. So we had two of those 12-pack cans. You know, you put a refrigerator 12-pack in. And I look on the one side that's my wife's because she has a different flavor she likes. And the whole backside of it is blown out. And a can is just shattered.
Exploded.
Exploded. And the other two are like, because right now this is just leaking. So I'm guessing mine is frozen as well. But basically, think about this can, but an extra inch down here and an extra inch up here. So that's what the other two were.
Wait, you put your cans with soda in the freezer?
No, it was in the refrigerator. So the refrigerator dropped. Yeah. So anyway, so I'm trying to open this one carefully so I don't make... Okay, it's frozen. Well, no soda
15
for me
minutes
today.
later.
Yeah. Yeah, it's frozen at the top. Oh, well. Get my mess up here. I'll deal with it later. All right. So anyway, that's not why we're here. Good to see. Try the first name for me. Ozan?
Ozan,
Ozan. Just let it roll together.
my guess, I don't know.
Okay. Yes, and you guys are here as always, and thank you for being here. You know, we put the poll out the other week about what are we going to... Okay, now this is starting to freak me out because it's leaking. That is scary. Okay, here. I'm actually going to put my little towel underneath it so in case this decides to explode in here. I don't think it will now. Nope. Okay, anyway. I haven't looked at the results of the poll. Did you look at the results of the poll?
Oh, you're giving me too much credit, man. Just by thinking that I'm doing stuff.
I'm going to look over here. Because I never looked at the results of it, because we did a 7-day poll to decide which Friday we're going to take off. I think this was going to be one of them, so that means the other two are still there. Let's see. I'm not sharing right now. Here, let's share it. Just because I don't know. Blah, 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 blah. I remember when I did that poll. Where are we? Oh, please. Leave me alone. Oh. I can't close it. Oh, it's because I'm not logged in. All right. See? Ain't gonna and I'm not even sharing, so this is even worse. Okay, why is this not working? Oh, I know why. Can we just get a do-over today? Yeah, I can't log in because I don't know what the credentials are. So
I don't think anybody knows credentials anymore with LastPass and all that stuff.
I know, man. That's okay. Here, I'm gonna look at a different screen just for a second. So while I'm typing this, I can't even type our own. It's been one of those years today. So this week's episode was with Mason McLeod and talking about how long we actually code in a day. How long do you think we really code?
Don't ask me that question because I recorded that session. Now I know. Now I know the answer. It's shocking.
It's shocking how little, and I'm still looking up the poll, so I don't know why I'm doing that because we're doing a live show and I'm doing other things. Sort of like when I was producing your show yesterday, I was also in another meeting. I don't know how I did that. But anyway, 52 minutes median average that you code per day. And in fact, we're going to take a look at the report today. So the link for this report will be in the show notes, but it's also in this post right here where it's the Global Code Time Report. So there were a couple of interesting things here. 52 minutes a day. I don't know what I just said, but 52 minutes a day. Monday through Friday. 4 hours a week. So salaries are a good thing, right? Because if we actually only got paid when we were coding, that means we'd be getting paid about 4.5 hours a week and the other however many hours. Okay, so this is what, 30 minutes a day, which is a hair low, except in the U.S., which I think you're actually in Canada, Javon. I can't remember. But this report goes into, where was it? Right here. So advanced markets, I probably need to, let me zoom it in just a hair. Whoops, I'm on the wrong screen. So the United States and Canada are around 37 and 39 minutes a day. As compared to, now see, I'm trying to figure out this advanced market. Why is Italy so much higher than everybody else?
Because probably, maybe, and I'm guessing now, maybe Italians are thinking about what they're going to do less and just doing it.
And they just do it. Okay.
I mean, there is, meetings influence that number for sure. But also exploring things, designing things, reviewing things, and so on and so forth are included in that as well. So depends how you define coding, right? If you define coding as I literally write code, that's one number. If you define coding as I review code, for example, then the number would be higher. I mean, we would probably never reach even half of the day.
Right.
But there are different types of activities, let's say, and writing code is only part of it.
And that's so there's a plugin that you put into your editor. It's called Code Time. So VS Code, the IntelliJ suite. It's a keystroke logger. I mean, you got to know when something's being typed. It's keeping track of stuff. If you listen to the whole episode, Mason goes into the details of it. Which doesn't bug me a whole lot because he seemed to be really transparent about it. I still want to put Wireshark on the other side of it to see what's going on. But, it seemed to be above very much above board. So I felt okay about it. I mean, think about it. Number one, he came on a podcast to talk about it and talked about what it does in detail. So it's like, okay, seems reasonable. But looking at the advanced markets and then get into the emerging markets, and Thailand is number one. Oh, this is the thing I was talking about. I'm trying to remember. So it's watching you type. Ignore the creepiness of it, but it's watching you type. So if you're not typing, it doesn't know what to do. So if you're over setting off to the side and you're scratching out an idea in a notebook, it's not going to know that you were doing that, even though that could be coding, right? Or do you classify that as coding? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it would be cool to maybe extend that experiment. I'm not sure whether anybody would accept it, but extend the experiment and track also what are you having, which browser tab you're using at any given moment, and what's in it. That would give a clearer picture, right? Because most of the things we do outside coding is from a browser now, right?
Stack Overflow, YouTube, Google, Reddit.
Yeah, but then there is, Wiki, for example.
Like internal
company Wiki, for example.
Confluence type stuff, yeah.
Yeah, writing docs, what's not.
Yeah. So, and I think the peak day, the number one day was Wednesday, which sort of makes sense because if you factor out a big chunk of the world is Monday through Friday, another big chunk of the world is Sunday through Thursday. So you have to throw out Sunday, you have to throw out Friday. So now you have Tuesday, Wednesday, or Monday through Thursday. Wednesday seems reasonable, but it's still not like crazy. But then Saturday and Sunday. Why are you working on Saturday and Sunday?
Because
you can't get work done during the
maybe
week?
For people who did a full hour of work on weekdays and then they did not
they do a quarter-hour
manage
work
to
on
do
weekends.
everything, right?
Yeah. Few developers code more than 2 hours per day. Okay. Again, it depends on how you define it. And the code time per day, they take you through this cool little roll-off here. Late afternoon is the most popular time. I'm going to sleep in the late afternoon.
Yeah, but that makes sense. I guess mornings might be more common for meetings, unless you're a distributed company, right?
Right, and that's the one thing we didn't ask Mason about. I'm assuming any times that were reported were based on the time that was the clock time on the machine. It would have to be, but even then, like when I travel, I keep my laptop time always Eastern time. Right, I don't shift it. I don't change my clock when I go to the West Coast.
I mean, given that there is a lot of companies that have people working in US and Europe, just to say something, I would place a bet that actually in Europe there is the amount of code being done in the morning is higher than in US precisely because our afternoon is your morning. That's when we meet.
I would agree with that. Because most of Europe is going offline by noon and 1 o'clock my time, Eastern time. So
exactly, it's kind of
5-6 hours ahead.
Our afternoon. That's the only overlapping period.
Yeah.
Then there is of course Asia, stuff like that. So I'm not saying that it's only Europe and US, but it must differ because of overlapping periods.
Sadly, the top coding languages: TypeScript, Dart, PHP.
Wait, what is Dart? My brain froze now.
Dart is a scripting language based out of Google, right?
Okay.
I think. Here, let's look it up. We have a minute. Again, there was no news this week, so I'm just coming up with things to talk about a little bit, and we'll probably we will probably end up short because I got another bless you, another live stream.
Thank you.
Here, so Dart is here. Okay, well that doesn't help me any. Overview. Here we go. A client-optimized language for developing fast apps on any platform. What is it?
I mean, either I'm very uninformed or there is a problem with that data, right?
Meaning,
Kind of Dart being kind of the second most commonly typed language.
Dart's under Flutter, which Flutter's a primarily mobile language-ish, sort of.
I'm pretty sure it's fairly popular, but kind of, what's the third one?
Oh, the third one was, not that page, PHP.
Okay.
WordPress.
Yeah.
Maybe people writing WordPress things.
Yeah, probably.
Who else uses, what else do you use PHP for? There are frameworks besides WordPress, but sadly, Java was at the bottom. 28 minutes a day. Go was in the middle at 43, number 6.
Yeah.
This is the time.
I have a certain difficulty digesting those numbers, though, but okay.
Take a look at this. If you look at the top 5, and I can't remember how Dart actually works, but at least 4 of the top 5 are dynamic languages. Right?
Yeah, no. I simply I cannot believe that Ruby is twice as common as
Java. Well, think about it. Where's most Java being written today? If you had to guess, my guess is legacy enterprise type applications. Right? It may be used in some other places, but that's going to be the vast majority of it. How many of those places would allow you to install a plugin like this inside of your IDE?
Yeah, exactly. That's right. What I meant with having trouble digesting the data, meaning that the scope, or not the scope, the sample might not be wide enough. Not as if there is a problem with what they did. It's fantastic. Just there are certain restrictions. Enterprises might be less willing to participate.
That's what they were saying here at the top of. It was sampled from 250,000, I believe. I saw the number somewhere. Anyway, it was 250,000 people that had the plugin installed. So this was coming off that data. So that's a good sample set. But again, if it's these numbers are, let's see, what is it? Conclusion, and they get into selling some things. You can use the extension, I guess is the better word to say, instead of plugin, for free. It keeps 90 days worth of your information, so you can look back. If you want to pay, there's a quote-unquote pro plan, $20 a month. I still have not installed it yet. I'm working on some open source TypeScript and JavaScript stuff, so now the problem is I'd be adding into the numbers I don't want to add into. But anyway, so that was this week's episode. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, that was an extremely interesting episode. I loved it.
And I wish I could... Oh, there it is. Based on data from 250,000 developers in the global community. And again, this was from January of this year. So I'm looking at a couple of the comments here. Okay. And then your video this week, again, literally nothing this week. Except there was a bunch of crypto and metaverse stuff because SIGGRAPH was going on. So, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Jsonnet and Tanka?
Tanka,
what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I mean, it's Grafana stuffy.
Yeah. But I look at Jsonnet, and I watch the video, and I'm thinking, why in the world? I mean, YAML's bad enough. JSON is worse. Right? Or is it? Did I miss, maybe I'm biased? Obviously, I'm biased.
So if you compare it with YAML, kind of pure YAML, the problem with YAML is that there is a lot of repetition, and then there is, when things become complex, there are no kind of imperative constructs, like if-else, conditionals, right, loops, what's not. That's why we have Helm. Now, the problem with Helm, generally speaking, this is unrelated now with Jsonnet, is that YAML is a data language, right? It's a key value data type of format, right? And then when you think about it, does it make really sense to apply free text templating on something that is based exclusively on data? And by free text templating, I refer to Helm. So there are tools, formats coming up to correct that. Now, whether Jsonnet, with or without Tanka is the thing, that's the part I'm not sure. I have trouble digesting it, really. I understand people using Jsonnet. I understand fully why they do it, because the ability to have libraries, the ability to use a programming language, essentially, right? To define things can reduce complexity, but then creates a different type of complexity, which I'm not sure that I like. I dare anybody to look at. So here's a task for everybody, right? Go and check Jsonnet libraries, packages, whatever it's called, for Prometheus, Grafana, and a few other mostly Grafana-related stuff. And you will probably notice two things. First, as a user, it's absolutely amazing. Second, once you start diving into it, you're going to get lost. You're going to get completely and utterly lost. So it's a very, very steep learning curve, and the end result might be hard to navigate unless you really know what's in it. And once you do, then it's kind of beautiful.
Okay. I found the poll. With 5 votes, the 26th has been voted to be off.
That's 2 weeks from now, right?
Yeah. Does that work out good too for you? Have you looked at your calendar?
Are you asking me whether it works out good for me to not do something? I don't need to watch.
Is the answer always yes?
To check the calendar, kind of like, do I really need the calendar to say that the answer is yes?
Yeah. I
need to check the calendar when you ask me whether I need to do something on specific day, specific time, but not to do something.
I'll take a look at the calendars and figure out where that comes in and scheduling other things too, because I don't remember what that week is yet. So, but there's a good chance. So if we do take a week off, it'll be the 26th, but we don't know that for sure yet. Do we have anything else to talk about? Anybody have any questions? I mean,
yeah,
who'd you have on yesterday? I can't remember his name. I remember it was R from Octeto.
Heck. Yeah, Ramiro. Ramiro he's a cool guy. I like Ramiro, and I like Octeto.
So if you didn't watch that, you can go over on the DevOps Toolkit channel and rewatch that. Now, you've got another AMA coming up next week. Normally it's every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But now we've got 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, 3 weeks or 4 weeks in a row, yeah.
Okay, whatever it is.
Until September. September starts, it's going to be very difficult on my schedule, so I thought to cram as much as possible in August while everybody's on vacation.
While nobody's here, you're going to do a lot of shows.
So next week is Sid Palace from DevOps Directive.
And who is that?
I expect he has a YouTube channel, and outside of the channel, he tends to work as a consultant, I believe. He might correct me, for usually small startups.
Yep.
Very interesting guy.
Okay. And then whatever's going on the next 2 weeks, we'll figure it out when we get there. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm figuring if I had 0 news this week, the chances of even having more news next week.
Very low.
Slow. Because now we're getting into the holiday time, quote unquote, holiday time for the U.S., which is Labor Day, which is the first Monday in September. So everything starts winding down. So the 26th, that would be the week before Labor Day, I think. I haven't looked at the calendar.
So when I look at the surrounding of my undisclosed location,
yeah,
it's a kind of touristic village in Spain.
Yep.
I believe that this year we have more tourists than ever before. And I have a theory that, after being locked for 2 years, everybody went somewhere. Even people who traditionally don't want to go anywhere, went somewhere just kind of
Just to
I'm
get
going
away.
crazy type of I cannot do it anymore, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, that was my trip to Raleigh this week, was to, because I kept asking my
Unwind.
wife. Now, okay, I'd said before I had COVID the week before, and I tested negative on Sunday and on Monday. So the thing in Raleigh was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I was waiting until the last second because I was going to drive up Tuesday morning anyway. So I was clear, got up there, came back. And I was asking my wife, I was like, "Are you sure you're okay with me going?" She's like, "Yes, you need to leave the house." So
go away, man, go away. It's
'Cause
that's
it was
the
3
thing.
days.
Everybody goes somewhere, and that's not only because people who go somewhere want to go somewhere, but also people who do not go somewhere want them gone.
just to be by themselves, which, yeah, I'm joking, but not really, but yes, but not really. All right. So that's this week's show, I think. Right? So,
Yeah.
So Monday, you've got a video coming out. Wednesday, we have the podcast. Thursday, back with DOT. And we'll be back next Friday, hopefully with a little more news. If not, we'll do another short show, and that's okay.
Exactly.
Don't say that 3 times fast, because I have a feeling I would say something that I would have to take myself down for. So anyway, that's it. If you're interested in Jenkins at all, in an hour roughly, at the bottom of the next hour, I'm doing a live stream on what's new in Jenkins. So that's over on the CloudBeast TV channel. So if you're into Jenkins at all, come over. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about other things going on. And let me go and give you a warning, because this crew, I don't normally see you over there when I'm doing those. If you're using Jenkins and you're going to be upgrading come September, it's now going to be required that you're running Java 11. Java 8 will no longer be supported. So
What's the latest?
the latest LTS right now is 17. And Jenkins will run on both, as of today, 8, 11, and 17. Java 8 is being completely dropped in the September LTS release, which is like the second or third week of September. So Java 8 won't work anymore with that. At least running those bits, right?
That's reasonable. You're still kind of Jenkins still. I'm guessing that's still 10 years of JDKs supported, right?
Right. So in was it 2019 is when Java 7 was dropped. So now Java 8 is being dropped 3 years later. So it's basically, and I look back over the history of it, it's about every 3 to 4 years when that major is dropped. So this is right on time. So just in case you're interested, or even if you're not running Jenkins, or if your company is, we're going to be talking a lot about that today, because again, this is the third of the LTS, which is usually the boring one. It's the last of whatever that version number is. And we're going to be talking about a lot of the stuff that you need to be getting ready for. So in case you're interested, great. That'll be over on the CloudBeast TV channel. If not, come back next week with all of the stuff that's going on here. And Victor, thank you for letting me plug the day job there just a little bit. Because
normally I prevent you from doing that.
I know. Do you want to go ahead and what's going on at Upbound? Let's go ahead and say it, because I took a little bit of time there. What do you have going on there?
We are preparing a lot of things, but I don't know which of those.
Well, you can't talk about it, but you're getting ready for KubeCon too. Right.
We are getting ready for KubeCon. So KubeCon is our date.
And that's October? I was looking at the dates on that the other day.
It
is October.
Something. Yeah.
It's the end of October, because, again, we're going to be recording as soon as you either get back or before you leave. So
October is actually Cube Huddle first, which is...
Where's that?
In Scotland, I think. And that's answer to some people being disappointed with KubeCon being too commercialized and so on and so forth. So same month, little KubeCon, Cube Huddle, and then a big one. Same month.
Oh, there you go. But not same week.
No, not the same week. No.
Not same week. Okay. All right. Well, thanks everybody for being here with us live. Sorry, it's sort of a weird week, but holidays in the Northern Hemisphere ruins everything. Since we don't talk about murder or anything else like that, politics, we try not to talk about. Well, do we want to talk about CNCF? No, we don't want to talk about them today.
Yeah, I haven't murdered anybody in a long while, so nothing to talk about.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. We will talk to you again next week.